Once the screws are removed, you should be able to pop this center fascia off. Let's see. Did it yesterday. I'll bring it here and let me put it here. Alright. So just wiggle it out. Those are the only screws that I know of, at least for my car. Set this aside and keep all the screws together, yeah? Alright, so now you have your open center console, or center dash fascia. Next, there's going to be 2 screws, 1, 2 there, and then if you open your ashtray up, remove your ashtray, there will be another screw here, and I think that's all that you need to remove this section. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so a total of 3 screws were removed. This one, these, and these 2. You also need to remove your shifter knob. To remove the shifter knob, you want to hold the base tightly and just screw the top knob off. Okay, once the knob is removed, you should be able to remove this whole center piece. You'll want to flip, you need to remove these plugs down here. So maybe turn it over and pop the plugs off. You need those off. So I'll do that. Alright, so I'm just not going to remove those plugs. I spun it and pushed it to the side. You have open area to, or plenty of room to remove the shifter from here. So, next up, we need to remove these 4 bolts, and then this little dust cover. So let's do that. Alright, so I forgot to mention that those bolts are 12 millimeters. Once you remove the little dust boot, see if you can see it right there, you can just slowly take it over the top of the shifter. You can then remove this metal guard. You just have to maneuver it around to get it to pop out. It's hot. Let's see if I can. Ooh, that's hot. Alright, once you remove the metal guard, your shifter is fully exposed, and you can see the drive shaft and your exhaust and the ground. You then have a bolt here that you need to remove, and this is the tricky part. There's going to be a bolt underneath. I'm going to have to cool this off. There's going to be, see this right here? There's a bolt underneath that you need to remove. It's a pain in the butt. This is the hardest part of the whole thing. Make sure you don't drop any of the bolts, especially the one that's upside down. And remove it, and you will be good to go to pull the shifter out. Okay. Alright, so once you unscrew those 2 bolts, there's going to be a bolt going through where the bushings are. You need to remove that bolt. These are all 12 millimeter bolts. So I'm going to do that right now. This one is a little bit more challenging to get to as well. Alright, so I now have the shifter removed. I actually just replaced the bushings, probably not, I don't know, like 2 months ago, and you can see this one's already shredded. So I highly recommend you getting the bronze bushings, to just have to, it'll save you time and performance wise. I didn't buy them this time, but Now that I see this, I probably will. So once you have this out, go ahead and grab your Megan Racing, or whatever your short shifter is. Grab your short shifter. There's going to be a little, that little packet that it came with will have bushings already prepackaged in it. Take my gloves off. My car was very hot. Alright, so you're going to want to open up your bushings, or this little package here. Grab the bushings, which are these little hard plastic pieces. There will be 2 in each package. And you're going to want to slide them in the hole so that they're in there nice and snug. These are a little looser than I thought they would be, but it should work either way. Alright, so once you have those, you can now basically do the whole thing in reverse, and same order reverse. So I'm going to install this and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so after running to the store to get a file, I finally installed it. It seems that you need to file down one of the brackets to make the shifter actually fit, at least in my car. So if you need to, go get a file before you start anything so you don't have to leave. Once I got the fit, it slid in perfectly fine. I didn't put the bushings in, I probably should have, but it shifts fine without the bushings. It's a little bit wobbly without it, but not a whole lot of play. As for the shifter itself, I drove it around, drove it back to my house, and it shifts beautifully. The throw is a lot smoother and also a lot shorter. Before, my hand used to hit the this piece right here, and now it's not even close. So I haven't had any problems with it so far. If I do, I'll let you guys know. Also, just a quick review, I got the shifter from Concept Z Performance for about $70 shipped, and it's a Megan Racing short shifter. I suggest it's a cheap alternative to a lot of the more expensive ones like Z1 or Stillin. I'm not saying it's any better, but it is cheaper if you just want a short shifter. So yeah, leave any comments you have or any questions that I could possibly help you guys with. Alright, bye.